So I'm going to only assume that we're on Yayoi's route now? Look, I don't know. This game's really hard in determining what you're doing. Mostly because people have told me that depending on your choices, there's a bunch of other shit that happens differently based on the character that you chose. And so I don't really know when the route starts or when it ends, but you know what? I'm probably still gonna just from this point start label it as Yayoi's route just in case. Look, we may have done the diddly, but does that really matter at this point? But probably. Oh god. Alright, let's just calm down. This dream or reality or whatever it is we're in is still as crazy as ever. Still keeping the opacity, just in case. You never know what might happen. We didn't know whether this was a dream or a daydream everyone was having in reality. But either way, when we fell asleep, we came to this place, which always told me that it wasn't, that we were in real life, and now we're not in real life, but we're in this dream, but real life is a dream. The room, which was always ready for a tea party, was the only place that hadn't changed since we started visiting it. God damn it. Where's Saki? Although the objects in the room hadn't changed, the number of people who gathered here gradually increased. At first, it was just me, Maya, and Alice. But we were soon joined by Saki, Hirasaka. Oh, what the fuck did that burp come from? And Yayoi. And then Maya left. And if you're wondering what's going on in this room right now, oh. Why'd the music stop? Because of Saki, the pressure weighing on me was tremendous. Oh, okay. Oh, Saki, no wonder you're not in the CG. You know when a character's just, they're mad, or they're gonna kill you, or something like that, something on the grounds of that, is just smiling and talking sweetly as per usual. That's probably the worst kind. We were sitting in our usual seats. In other words, Saki and I were sitting side by side on the sofa. Unable to bear the crushing pressure coming from next to me, I couldn't look at Saki. I know what you're trying to say, but there are respectable reasons and circumstances behind that. Oh, don't even get me started. Shit, Saki's in a seriously bad mood. Maybe it was because we were in a dream, but the pressure that came from Saki started looking like a black aura. You mustn't let yourself be controlled by that power, I wanted to say, but since it was my fault Saki was in the state to begin with, that seemed like it would be some wasted effort. I looked to Yayoi for help, but in silence. But she just flashed me a beautiful smile in return. Hey, woman! Whoa! That's fucked up. She had no intention of helping me. She was an accomplice too, and the main reason for the situation. Kaiko. Like always, Hirasaka was sitting a little ways away, strumming her guitar. I don't know. Without the actual diddly? Apparently embarrassed by this kind of talk, Alice's face was red as she asked Hirasaka this. If it embarrassed her, then she should have just kept her mouth shut. Or maybe she was interested. What? She even stated the concrete method we'd used to turn me back into a guy, which everyone else had avoided saying, so maybe she actually liked talking about this sort of thing? Closet pervert.
結局男らしいところを刺激したからだと思ってるから。
Look, I don't understand half the shit that ends up happening to me.
それってどういうこと？トールって情けないところあるけど、別にめめしいわけでもサキちゃん以外にはヘタレてるわけでもないから、男らしくないってことないと思うんだけど。
Cowardly towards anyone but Saki. Alice's casual statement stabbed like daggers into my heart. I was well aware that I was weak to Saki.
でも普段トールのやってることってお姉さんでも困らないことばかりだったでしょ？けど男でないとできないことができたから男に戻ったんじゃないかしら。
And that was destroy you! Oh god, man, boy, did we destroy her. When she got to something he could only do as a man part, Saki glared at me with cold eyes.
兄さんのエッチ。
Wow! It's not my fault. Okay, it might be. No, I think Yayoi's right. I think that's why I turned back into a guy. But just because this time was thanks to something sexual doesn't mean that's the only reason I turned back, okay? But then, I just thought I had to be a man in order to protect Yayoi. Oh, or back then.
戻った直後に弥生とエッチしたくせに？
ええ、ルートウィッチ先輩とセックスをしたのは戻った後ですしね。
It's like, yeah, so it's pretty much sex. It's done.
結局兄さんは弥生先輩みたいな人が好みなんですよね。
She allured me. Allured me. There we go. Words. Everyone's words were like knives. What should I do?
トールは私とエッチしたくてたまらなくなったから男に戻ったんじゃなかったって言うの？
Oh, I mean, that's not the case. He always said melodramatically. But more than that, it was because I thought I had to be a man in order to protect you. But I turned back because I wanted to protect her. Although it was true that I lost to my passion after that. Huh?
別に先輩が守らなくても、この女なら一人で生きていけると思うんですが。
I don't know. Despite appearances, she's actually pretty weak. Despite appearances. It was important, so I repeated it.
あれ？今私彼氏になんかひどいこと言われたような気がするわ。
She's like, I will say, she's definitely does struggle with some things, you know. You imagine it, don't worry about it. Yayoi gave an exaggerated pout.
何よ、私にキスして男に戻った直後はもうバッキバキに固くしてたくせに。
Okay, we don't need to discuss this in front of the other ladies. Whoa! Oh god.
それなのに守りたかったなんて言うんだ。へえ、そうなのね。
Are you sure? The aura around Saki started taking on a blackish red hue. Oh, Jesus. Since I was sitting next to her, I could even feel a sort of pain on top of the heaviness. Oh, my stomach hurt.
まったく、最近高原さんがやたらと私に優しいし、その理由を考えるとますます腹が立ってくるわ。
She's been nice to me too. She's even said she'd help me study for exams when I became a third year. Oh boy. By the way, Takahara-san was a really hard worker, having been a graduate of a prestigious university, as well as having studied abroad. And she acted as a tutor for Saki anyway, so I would love for her to help me if I could get it. Ooh!
まあ、さきちゃんもケイ君もトールに彼女ができたのを喜んであげようよ。
Yeah, enough of the bad auras.
私は先輩に彼女ができたのが腹立たしいんじゃなくて、こんな女を選んだことが腹立たしいんです。
Damn.
男に戻るのにエッチが必要なら私相手でもいいじゃない。
Because I didn't choose you and I didn't need to protect you. It's fine. Far from giving their blessings, these two emitted an aura that was the polar opposite, tormenting me. Did I really do such a terrible thing? No, maybe I did. Oh!
ふむふむ。なんだか後輩2人も納得いってないみたいだし、トールも胃が痛そうな顔してるわね。
It's because they keep like stabbing me with metaphorical daggers.
祝ってくれてるのもアリスだけだし。トール、もしかして私とエッチしたことを後悔してる？
Oh boy, I don't think anyone would regret doing that, but why are you asking me? Of course not.
本当？まあ、それならそれでいいんだけど、もしもトールがあれを一度だけの間違いというか、エッチなことがしたいだけの男の子としての劇場が抑えきれなかっただけっていうなら、なかったことにしてあげてもいいかなと思ったんだけど。
Well, I don't think that's the case. I'd rather you didn't didn't act like it didn't happen. Acting like it never happened. Everyone looked at her incredulously. What are you saying?
だってこれが原因で稽古はともかくサキちゃん相手にこれからずっとギスギスするのは辛いじゃない？
Oh, Saki will get over it. She's just... I say that, but I glanced at Saki out of the corner of my eye, but she had an indescribable look on her face. Unable to decide whether she should be happy or angry, the corners of her mouth were twitching.
私はあなたがそんな態度だから頭にくるんです。
Oh my god, Kaiko's like, let me at her! Let me at her!
頭にくるって言われても、稽古少し勘違いしてないかしら。別に私もトールをどうでもいいとは思ってないし、適当な気持ちでエッチまでしないわよ。だけどこれは夢じゃない？
I really don't think what we are. I think it's...
お互いちょっとエッチな夢を見ただけ。そういうことにもできるって言ってるの。
But that's literally what we did the first time, when you did the boob diddly. Then Yayoi looked at Saki.
サキちゃんだってまさかトールがエッチな夢見て、その相手が私だったからってずっと怒ってるわけにもいかないでしょ？
それはまあ確かにそうですけど、そういう意味なら兄さんはエッチな夢を今までに散々見てたはずですし。
It's like Yayoi route over, boys. Boys and girls, remember the dream.
そうだよね。それにトールって夢の中でのこときちんと覚えていられるんだよね。
I can, but there are so many more that I've forgotten. Please don't comment on that. Gentlemen's agreement, okay? There are no other gentlemen. We got ladies. When I said this, almost in tears, everyone backed down.
まあそれはそれとして、弥生だって初めてだったんじゃないの？
Alice asked Yayoi, apparently trying to change the subject. Her blushing face told us all we needed to know. I guess Alice really was interested in this topic.
初めてよ。もしかしてそこから私疑われてた？そうだとしたらショックなんだけど。
It's not like Yayoi just goes sleeping around. Like,
いえ、さすがにそこまではないと思ってましたけど。
that's not her style. Yayoi said nothing, but I could tell she was wondering how much they doubted her just then.
偶然先輩がそういう夢を見ただけで済ませるですか？
I'd rather not have that be a thing. Hirasaka murmured. She seemed to not understand what Yayoi would say, why she would say that. No matter what anyone says, I did that of my own will, and I didn't really make that decision lightly, you know? And of course, I didn't intend to take it back.
確かに軽い気持ちで先輩がセックスしたがるなら、夢だろうが現実だろうが、蓮野さんがとっくに先輩に押し倒されてるでしょうし。
See? Exactly. That's... God damn it.
平坂さん、何言ってるの？いや、まあ自分でもそうなったかなって自覚してるところはあるんだけど。
If it was truly about the diddly would have been had years ago. My two underclassmen continued a topic that was wasn't very pleasant to me.
やっぱり金髪巨乳が決め手？
No! I'm appalled that you think that was the reason I lost control. I didn't hate them, but that was a different matter. And that wasn't the deciding factor, goddammit.
私の金髪も綺麗なブロンドってわけでもないしね。ほら、ハーフだから。
It's not. She toyed with a tuft of her hair and let out a sigh. Then she seemed to notice the gazes being aimed at her.
何よ、ケイコ、そんな顔して。さっきまであんなに好きかって言ってたのに、何いきなり遠慮してるのよ。
ああ、いえ、同じハーフでもやっぱり姉妹で髪の色って違って出るものなんだなと思って。
It goes without saying that Hirasaka didn't get along with Yayoi. That's the truth. But even if she sometimes snapped at Yayoi, Hirasaka still rarely said anything that would hurt her unnecessarily, you know. She had probably hesitated because she wondered if that would hurt her.
まあ、姉妹でもどうにいるかは変わるわよね。
I was probably the only one who knew Asahi wasn't Yayoi's real sister. I was the only one who had seen that dream. So it was probably intuition or something that made Hirasaka hesitate. While I was thinking that, Yayoi looked at me like she wanted to say something. Why are you looking at me like that, Yayoi? You normally just speak your mind.
兄弟でも似てたり似てなかったりでしょって例を出そうとしたら、私以外に兄弟がいるのがトールしかいなかったからよ。
Well, I had a sibling. Feels bad, and we did resemble each other a lot. And Saki's my, like, pretend sister, and... Oh, I see. In other words, I seem to recall you guys saying I resembled Maya when I was a girl. Seeing how easily I spoke Maya's name, Saki and Alice looked a little surprised. Even if siblings look similar, they tend to start changing around this age. Yayoi, too, had probably not said it because she was worried about me. She probably showed more restraint about that sort of thing than most people.
けどトールって顔立ちがマイヤに結構似てるわよね。逆？マイヤがトールに似てるのかしら。
Either way, I wonder if we do look alike. Even if you compared Maya to my reflection in the mirror, I didn't think you could tell we were siblings if you didn't already know. I don't know.
兄さんの場合、いつも不機嫌そうというか、夢見のせいでだるそうだからそうは見えないんだけど。
あの子が悩んだり不機嫌そうにすれば、先輩に似るのかもしれませんね。
I think I've hardly ever seen Maya looking worried.
トールもみんなも思ったより大したことないみたいに話すのね。
Yeah, I feel like I feel like if we keep saying her name, she's gonna actually appear. Because if you remember the last time we actually heard her voice, it was from the phone, our phone with the Maya keychain on it. So, or the ring, not the keychain. I just call it a keychain just because it looked like that. So, you know, she'll probably come back at some point. Yayoi, who was worried about bringing up the subject, sounded a little exasperated. There's no point in worrying about it, and it wouldn't change the fact that Maya's my sister.
それはそうなんでしょうけど。
Did that have something to do with how Yayoi acted like she didn't know how to behave toward Asahi lately? It was almost like she didn't know how to deal with it. I wonder what she's so concerned about. It was true that Yayoi was probably an only child, and even though Asahi was her sister, they weren't really related. A little sister who wasn't related by blood. Though the circumstances were different, Yayoi and I did have that in common. Whew!
兄さん、今何考えてたの？
This is my sister, not related by blood. Saki seemed to notice that I was thinking about something other than Maya. She had asked her question casually instead of suspiciously, but I had no intention of talking about Yayoi and Asi's connection. Just like Yayoi was saying, we're in a dream right now, right? Right now? I tapped my foot on the floor.
実は私とエッチしたことは本当にトールのエッチな欲望が見せた夢でした。
いっそそうであった方が私も気が休まります。
But we can't... I don't know what's real anymore.
だけど残念ながら合意の上なのよね。だけどこれって初体験にカウントしていいのかしら。
Like how she said, unfortunately, it was consensual. We're going back to that!
普通はカウントされないような夢の中でのことだし。
We had sex in a dream, or we both remember it. Normally, such things wouldn't count. In fact, if you did count them, you would probably be looked at with pity. Oh, God.
まあどうせ兄さんのことだから目を覚ましたら覚ましたで普通にことに及びそうですけど。
やだ、その時が改めて私の初体験になるの？なんかちょっとドキドキしちゃう。
You already had the first experience. I feel like we were actually in real world. I don't know anymore.
少しは慎みとか持ったらどうですか？
Jesus. Hirasaga's obviously annoyed at Yayoi for acting bashful.
セックスした相手と女の子しかいないような場所で私が言いよどんだりしたらかえって鼻につくと思わない？そうだね。そうなった場合、稽古なら何かまととぶってるんですかとか言うんじゃないかな。
Hirasaga seemed to realize that she probably would say that, so she kept her mouth shut.
それで兄さんはここが夢だからって何を考えていたの？まさか早く本物の弥生先輩とエッチなことがしたいとか考えてたわけじゃないでしょうね。
I mean, hey. No, I was wondering when this dream is going to end. I had shaken free of Maya, and just when I thought we'd woken up, we were thrown into this world. And the craziness hasn't stopped since then. No, it hasn't. Hirasaka became a princess, I became a woman, and a whole lot of other weird stuff has happened since Christmas. It almost seemed likely that the three staying at the Hasuno house would continue to do so even after we woke up.
あら、トールはこの夢を終わらせたいんだ。
If it actually is a dream. You don't? Oh, so I look up the sky. Teacup in hand, she looked out the window. As always, the outside was like a strange shadow world flower garden.
急いで終わらせる必要性は感じてないかしら。マヤだってあんな風に出てくることはもうないでしょうし。
Foreshadowing. Don't say things like that. I was uncomfortable to confidently declare that Maya wouldn't appear anymore. I had definitely shaken free of her, but I thought I had shaken free of her long ago, too. Yeah, but...
ずっと眠ったままで問題がないなんて思ってるんですか？
まさか。だけど変に起きようとしたらまたこの夢が過剰反応してクリスマスの時みたいな大騒ぎになるかもしれないでしょ？
I'd be down for another Christmas like that. That was wacky and silly. Then again, I did get shot, so... That does sound pretty likely. We seem to be tied to this dream, meaning that it often turned into a big commotion if we tried to do anything.
だったら起きるならそれは自然に任せて、とりあえず夢の中でも普段通りにしてればいいんじゃないのかしら。
We've been doing that for a while. Like, when does it end? Yayoi looked genuinely calm as she sipped her tea.
起きられるか。
Aww. Yeah, we'll figure something out.
アリスさんどうしたんですか？
起きたらみんなに会おうねって言ってたけど、私本当にみんなに会えるのかなって思って。
Like, we still need to remember Alice is still that enigma that we have no idea, we have know nothing about, so. Alice laughed bashfully and reached for a pastry on the table.
だったら弥生が言うみたいにこのままでもいいのかもって思っちゃった。
Would it be best to wake up or stay like this? I didn't want to be captured in a dream again, so I believed we had to wake up.
大丈夫。今度は私もついてるから。
So we got two that want to just, continue doing what we're doing. And then, like, the three of us, I'm sure, the three other one of us are like, we should probably wake up. I couldn't tell what she was thinking. Maybe she saw through me. I reached for a pastry on the table. We'll just stay here for a while, I guess. Oh, I guess I'm going to dream school again. Like, the sign, there's always the sign that it's the real world. Or not, or the dream world rather, when it's the flowers. But like, it keeps doing shit. I don't. Somehow or other, we reached the new school term. Jesus, I was speed walking down the hallway as the impending danger of being late loomed over me. I was already on the verge of tardiness. They would be checking attendance in class by now. Yeah, I was pretty much tardy already. Well, shit, that's fine. I see Tetsuya. Hello, sorry I'm late. On the first day of the new term, I flew into the classroom while homeroom was already underway. God, I hate these flowers on my desk! The teacher glanced at me and took up the attendance record, writing something down as they continued to talk. I was probably being marked as late. Giving them a sidelong glance, I went as quietly as I could to my seat. Listen, I got... Tetsuya spoke to me as soon as I sat down. Yeah, I'm surprised myself. Asi seemed curious too, but since homeroom had started, she just glanced back at me. But I didn't know why I had been suddenly late either. Well, I'd hardly been late like this before. Did the scene just change and I was... Normally I might have been late because I couldn't move as a result of my nightmares or fatigue. The tea party in that room continued almost every night, but that wasn't a nightmare. It didn't make sense that a dream like that continuing would cause me to not get enough sleep. And I hadn't had a nightmare I couldn't wake up from.
Toru, お前さ、普通に寝坊なんてしないだろ? 何時間も動けなくて遅れるか、結局そのまま休むよな。
That's true.
ん? あれ?
Well, what is it? Perhaps having noticed something, Tetsuya tilted his head.
いや、お前さ、朝は咲ちゃんに起こしてもらってるんじゃなかったっけか? 今日はもしかして兄弟揃って遅刻か?
It was true that Saki had been coming to my apartment a lot recently. I didn't want to imagine what would happen to me if I was half asleep or slept in, even though Saki came. No, I haven't seen Saki today, so I don't really know. Besides, it's not like she wakes me up every day. Lately, I had been involved in enough drama that I woke up on time almost every morning, but I didn't say that out loud.
そうだったか? じゃあなんで遅刻したんだよ? 体調か?
I just overslept. Apparently getting annoyed, the teacher was starting to glare at us. Why don't you kids shut the fuck up?
お、やべ。よし、わかった。その辺は後でな。
Wait, Tetsuya. Tell me what we're talking about in homeroom and what's been decided. I didn't know what happened since I'd come late, and thanks to Tetsuya talking to me, I didn't know what had happened since I had arrived either.
仕方ねえな。
I know I asked, but why are you acting all haughty? We continued to talk, so I ended up starting the new term by suddenly being late. Okay, that was weird. That was a weird scene to have. What are we doing? There was no homework on the first day of the term, thank God. After the opening ceremony and homeroom ended, we would just go home. Everything ended in the morning, and Tetsuya grabbed me by the shoulder when I was thinking about what next to do.
よし、そんじゃトル、今日何があったか聞かせてもらおうか。
The wacky music. What do you mean?
何かあったんだろう? よく考えれば、咲ちゃんがこんな日にお前を起こしに行かない方がおかしいだろうが。
Normally, Saki would always wake me up on important days like this. There were times when it was a real pain that Tetsuya saw through me because we'd known each other for so long. She just didn't come today. Even Saki can't afford to babysit me all the time.
そんなこと言って、お前が何かして怒らせたんじゃねえのか?
Well, I did make her a little mad, you could say, and our relationship is kind of on the edge. Tetsuya narrowed his eyes.
お前、何したんだ? エロいことか? エロくないことか? つか、ギリギリって休みの間に何あった?
Oh, you know, something was on the edge, all right. Wait, the classroom was filled with a listlessness, a characteristic of a new school term. With school having ended in the morning and people seeing others for the first time in a while, it was pretty loud. It would probably be okay if I said it here, but uh-oh. There was something, but I don't really want people to hear it.
まさかお前、やっぱりサキちゃんに何かエロいことでもしたんじゃないだろうな。
Not to Saki. Tetsuya's voice wasn't loud, but the classroom fell silent in an instant. I didn't do anything to Saki!
じゃあ、サキちゃんじゃない誰かに何かしたの?
Oh god, she sees right through me. Asi cornered me with her innocent question. Wait, Prez went home, didn't she? Didn't you hear anything, Asi?
ああ、うん。お姉ちゃんなら昨日帰ってきたけど、何? お姉ちゃん絡みなのかな?
Oh, Jesus. I backed myself into a corner. Oh, Yayoi didn't even tell her sister. Oh, boy. I could see Asi jump a little as if she had suddenly realized something. I could only offer her a wry smile. Whoa!
俺だけのけ者か? 何俺の彼女と通じ合ってやがる?
Hold your goddamn horses, game. Whoa! Did I do a gesture to make auto turn on? Hold on, we're doing gesture settings. Alright, hold on. Wait. Move left while holding the left button. That happens? What? Can I do that? No. What? Because it's starting to do auto. I don't know why it's doing auto. And I hate auto. Abel, no. Don't instantly start strangling me. What? Dude, I don't know what just happened there. Damn you, Purple Software Games. You do this to me all the time at the weirdest moments. Hasi let out a sigh at the sight of Tetsuya and me fooling around.
トールくん、この後ちょっとお茶でもして帰らない？哲也くんにも話したくないなら二人で。
I mean,
トール
I don't mind if you're there, Tetsuya. Let's go. He let out a resentful groan as I forcibly removed his hands from me. God damn it. Felt a little worried about the fact that Yayoi hadn't even told Asi. Well, if she believes that it's just a dream and it's like whatever, you know, it didn't actually happen. It's just a perverted dream, then what the shit? Behind the scenes heroin. Oh god. We're a lady. 2 days after the new term started, was a non-school day. Yayoi had been asked by Asi to go shopping with her, so they were out together. Oh, okay.
今日はどうしたの？どうしたのって何が？最近だと朝日が私のこと誘ってくれるなんて珍しいじゃない。ここのところずっと哲也と二人で買い物出かけてたのに。
We got some talking to do.
うん。やっぱりお姉ちゃんに選んでもらった服の方が可愛いから。
Alright.
それは何度も言ってるけど、朝日は顔立ち可愛いのに綺麗めの服を選びすぎなのよ。
Asi had realized that was because she wanted to look like her sister, but Yayoi hadn't noticed.
だってもう子供っぽいのとか着たくないんだってば。
子供っぽいのと可愛いのは違うっていつも言ってるじゃない。
It had been a while since Yayoi had gone shopping with her sister. Yayoi stifled the reluctance she'd recently felt when it came to hanging out with her family and was trying to act normal. Then again, the problem was that she couldn't interact with Asi like usual unless she tried to act normal.
朝日もなんか私に言いたそうにしてるのよね。
Oh boy. As Yayoi had said, lately Asi had gone shopping with Tetsuya while on their dates. Yayoi felt relieved that her sister had a boyfriend, but she also felt that it was thanks to that she'd noticed the difference between
お
them.
姉ちゃんは今日は買わなくていいの？
だって朝日みたいに見せる相手がいるわけじゃないもの。
Oof. Yayoi noticed how Asi's expression changed as soon as she said this. Yup.
でもお姉ちゃんトール君と付き合いだしたんじゃなかったの？
Oh, gasp! How did you know? No, Yayoi stopped walking.
一応そのつもりではいるけど、私それ朝日に話してないわよね。
I did.
お姉ちゃんからは聞いてない。だけどトール君に聞いたから知ってるよ。
Yeah, I did it.
ま、朝日には遅かれ早かれ知られるとは思ってたし、隠してたわけじゃないんだけど。
No, she hadn't been hiding it. It had just been hard to talk to Asi, and Yayoi couldn't find the right time to say it. Asi puffed out her cheeks.
なんでそんな大事なこと教えてくれなかったの？
いや、ほら、私彼氏できたの初めてじゃない？妹より遅いとか恥ずかしかったし、言いづらかったのよ。
本当に？
It was half true.
ほんと。困ったらいろいろ聞くつもりだったのよ。哲也と仲良くしてる時に気をつけることとか、その秘訣とか。
Hearing Yayoi say that so bashfully, her younger sister gave a slight sigh.
お姉ちゃんわざと照れたふりとかしなくていいから。
ひどいわ。恥ずかしいのは本当なのに。
イギリスいた頃だっていろんな人に付き合ってほしいって言われてたくせに、今さらそんな恥ずかしいとか言われても。
知ってたの？
She's your sister.
うん、知ってたよ。お姉さんをどうにかしてくれって言われたりもしたし、その気になればというか昔だって気になってる相手がいたりしたのに恋人作ってこなかったじゃない。
その辺も朝日に言った覚えないんだけど、よく知ってるわね。
Yayoi wasn't acting now. She was genuinely surprised. How much did Asahi really know?
その辺は私だってお姉ちゃんの妹ですから。
That's what I said. That's all you need to know. Yayoi wasn't sure what Asahi really meant by that. But Yayoi had talkative female friends in the UK, so maybe one of them had told Asahi?
ねえお姉ちゃん、私にも言わなかったのってお母さんたちに心配かけたくなかったんだよね。
朝日は本当にお見通しね。
Yayoi gave an exaggerated shrug. Asahi sighed at her.
気持ちはわかるけどさ。
Yayoi felt bad upon hearing Asahi say this with a sigh.
いや、はい。ちょっと真面目に話した方がいい？
Probably. Enough of this.
私はいつでも真面目だよ。
Hands at her hips. I'm always serious. But Asahi didn't appear that serious most of the time. I don't know. Have you seen when she gets in that mood? Although Yayoi knew she was serious in her own way.
それでお姉ちゃんトール君と付き合うの？
なんでそこで疑問系なのよ。
だってトール君が心配してたから。俺はそのつもりなのにお姉ちゃんがその気はないんじゃないかって。
Ooh, that can hurt. He even told her that? Yayoi thought?
まあ若干躊躇してるところはあるわね。
なんで？トールくんのことがそんなに好きじゃないの？
朝日、あんた結構はっきり物言うわね。
Dude, she's getting straight to the point.
だって躊躇してるってどういう意味かわからないし、だったらそんなに好きじゃないのかなって。
そんなことないわ。トールとはきちんと恋人同士として付き合えると思う。けどほら、私が男と付き合うと母さんたちが間違いなく心配するでしょ。
That was what it came down to. I'm that woman's daughter. Oh boy. Asi's aunt, her father's younger sister, and Yayoi's real mother by blood. A woman who'd had her parental rights formally taken away from her. Yayoi didn't even know what to think of. Didn't even want to think of what she was doing now. But Asi would be sad if Yayoi brought her up, so she didn't say anything. Yayoi herself didn't want to remember either. The worry here was that they didn't know who Yayoi's father was.
まあ確かに。もうお父さんもお母さんも二人揃ってそんなだから、お姉ちゃんが彼氏作りにくくて困ってるのに。
But Asi gasped.
あれ？それでもトールくんと付き合いたいって思ったんだよね。
そうよ。というか朝日、
なにお姉ちゃん。
私とトールが付き合ってるって知ったのよね。今日私がデートかもしれないって思わなかったの？
思ったよ。だけどトールくんが今日はお姉ちゃんと一緒にはいられないって言ってたから大丈夫かなって。
What, I got shit to do? Like what? He had told her that much? Yayoi's shoulders drooped. No, it's okay. I did it so they can have this talk. It's fine.
あれ？言ったらダメだってことなのかなこれ。
いや、今日トールがどこで何してるか知ってるからいいんだけど。
Incidentally, Toru was taking Saki out to eat something sweet today.
ああ、兄さんが女の人と付き合うだなんて寂しくてどうにかなってしまいそうだわ。
The way she fucking said that. Saki had threatened. Saki. I said Sakahi. What the? I fused Saki and Asahi into one person. Is that even a thing? Saki had threatened in monotone, so Toru was going to treat her at a pastieri to soothe her heartbreak. Although something seemed wrong about him leaving his girlfriend to go on a date with his sister/childhood friend on their first day off after school started.
さすがにあれは止められないわよね。
まあ確かにトールくんとサキちゃんのこと見てればそれで済むならって思っちゃうかな。
Asahi didn't know the details of Toru's and Saki's relationship, but she still understood. Obviously, Yayoi must have noticed that too. But she has chosen Toru anyway. The thought made Asahi smile.
朝日、なんであんたそんなに嬉しそうなのよ。お姉ちゃんが修羅場に巻き込まれるのがそんなに楽しみなの？
そうじゃなくて嬉しいんだって。お姉ちゃんにやっと彼氏が。
Asahi stopped mid-sentence. That's right. The reason Yayoi hadn't had a boyfriend wasn't just because their parents would worry. Yayoi could tell what Asahi had realized, so she gave a wry smile.
そういうこと。だから、トールのことは好きだけど、きちんと付き合えるかどうかは別問題でしょ？
そうだよね。
Monk ass. Asahi heaved a sigh, shopping bag in hand.
4月になったらまたイギリスだっけ。
Oh.
フィッシュ&チップスもマーマイトも全然恋しくないわ。
Oh. Thinking of things commonly eaten in the UK, Yayoi cringed. Japanese cuisine was really the best.
そんなこと言って、お姉ちゃんもともとマーマイト食べないじゃない。
I'll eat it, but I won't like it. The Lutwidge family was going to be leaving Japan in March of this year. It was nothing special. Every few years they moved to a different country for their father's work. That time had simply come around again. Naturally, Yayoi knew this all too well, and she had even been accepted into a university in the UK. Whoa!
あれ朝日はどうするのよ。哲也と別れるの？
最近家に帰ってきてないからそんなことも知らないんだよ。うちの学校寮もあるし一人暮らしできるでしょ。私も卒業まではトールくんみたいに一人暮らしするんだよ。
Okay.
哲也くんとも卒業までにきちんと話してどうするか決めるつもりだよ。
その口ぶりからしてまだきちんとは話してないのね。
うん、そうだけど。で、お姉ちゃん、もしかしてトールくん、引っ越しのこと知らないの？
This is the first I've heard about it.
朝日が話してなければ知らないわね。私、卒業した後大学に行くことしか言ってないし。
Asi stared at Yayoi.
ひどい。さすがお姉ちゃんひどい。
That's awful.
そっちだって、付き合い長いくせに哲也に言ってないじゃない。
そうだけど、トールくんとの付き合いだって長いじゃない。
It was times like these that made Yayoi think that they really were sisters, blood related or not.
だけど、お姉ちゃんはもう4月から向こうの大学だもんね。
何を勝ち誇ったように言ってるのよ。
時間の猶予が違うもの。それでいつトールくんに話すの？
いつも何もすぐにでも話すしか。
What would happen if she told him? Yayoi gasped.
あれ？話せばこの関係を続けるか終わらせるかって話に当然なるわよね。
It's okay, we can always see each other in the dream. She didn't dislike Toru. In fact,
そっか。私トールのこと好きなんだ。
the sudden burst of emotion in her chest caused her to panic. What do I do? Break up in April? She didn't want to. She felt adamant about that, and yet she had been planning to move to the UK. Or rather, she hadn't considered her options at all. She could just stay with him. If she wants to, I mean, that's an option. But now she didn't want to break up with him. Putting her hands on her cheeks, Yayoi realized her cheeks were hot.
うわ何これ、照れくさいっていうか恥ずかしい。トールとお風呂でセックスした時より恥ずかしい。
It's more embarrassing than that. Her face had been bright red. She wanted to hide it, but if she ran away, it would be like admitting it. Seeing Yayoi in the state, Asi sighed.
お姉ちゃんってさ、誰か好きになったこと今までなかったもんね。
You suck at this, don't you?
何その余裕。我が妹ながら頭にくるわ。
But Asi had a boyfriend long before Yayoi did, and was perfectly fine flirting with him. As for Yayoi, not only did she have to work to acquire Toru, but they hadn't even acknowledged each other as lovers yet. And it made sense that Asi was overwhelmingly more calm. And yet...
この子、のんびりしてるけど、そういうところ鋭いのよね。
Just because Asi was normally easygoing didn't mean that she was slow on the uptake. In fact, Asi had always been the type to notice things even around those around her missed. It made Yayoi a bit uncomfortable to sometimes feel like Asi could tell what she was thinking.
お姉ちゃん、また今話してることじゃないこと気にしてるな。
There it is. And Asi knew that something about her made Yayoi uncomfortable at times.
もしかしてまた本当の兄弟じゃないことを気にしてるのかな。
Asi hadn't heard this directly from their parents, but by this age it would have been pretty difficult not to figure it out, considering she and her sister's birthdays, among other things. But this wasn't the place to ask.
けど困ったわ。どうしよう朝日。
Asi was startled at Yayoi's words.
どうしようって何が？
いや、今さら気づいて、その、ね
ねえって言われても。じゃあこっちで私と一緒に暮らすようにお父さんに言ってみる？
この時期に？それに理由が理由だから間違いなく反対されるわ。
I don't know. The college Yayoi was going to attend had already been decided, and the paperwork had, of course, already been started, with it being January now.
向こうの大学も受けちゃった後だしね。
But when Yayoi graduated, they were going to move to the UK in accordance with their parents' plans.
それにお姉ちゃんが行きたがってたところだよね。
まあ、一応、イギリスじゃないと勉強できないわけじゃないけどね。
No, the paperwork's already been done. It's already been done. She would start college and study pharmacology. That had been her plan for a while.
だけど残る場合ってその学校は行けないってことだよね。その場合どうするの？
そうね。例えば、1年待ってこっちの大学に入り直すとか？
In the best case scenario. That way, she might be able to start college at the same time as Toru in the same school year.
それ悪くないかも。
悪くないかもって。私は反対しないけど、お父さん説得するのは手伝わないよ。
Aw, come on, sis. What's up? What's up with this?
そうよね。さすがに朝日にそこまでさせるわけにいかないし。
Asi gave a quiet sigh.
本気で頼まれたら、そのくらい手伝うのにな。
See? But Yayoi didn't notice that was what Asi was thinking.
なんで父さん、またあっちで仕事なんかになったのかしら。
それはまあ、そうだけど。
Uh-oh. That was the sort of job he'd had from the beginning, so there wasn't much Yayoi could do as a child of the Lutwidge family.
向こうの学校、まだ苦手？
いや、さすがにもう大丈夫だと思うけど。
When Yayoi was little, she had been discriminated against regardless of whether she was in Japan, the US, or the UK. But that was when she was little. Her disposition hadn't changed, but she had developed thick enough skin to be able to deal with it when people learned of her lineage. And now she thought even she had the ability to strike back, or at least be able to develop the skills needed to do so. In short, Yayoi didn't have any problems with school itself. But this wasn't about school.
というか、そろそろ大学生なんだし、一人暮らしくらいしてもいいわよね。って普段なら思うんだけど。
Maybe she could stay behind alone. She would pay the school expenses back later, and she thought she could get by even if they didn't send her any living expenses. In that sense, she had no intention of causing trouble for her parents. All she was going to do was mess around with a guy before marriage. But in Yayoi's case, such circumstances were. If she talked to her father, he might understand, he might allow it. But ultimately, it meant she was going to be staying in Japan without going to college, the college she'd been accepted to, because she didn't want to break up with a guy. It would be one thing if it were for a different reason, but it wasn't good that it was all for a guy. Even if they did allow it, it would worry them without a doubt.
めんどくさいわ。いっそトールと子供でも作ってやろうかしら。
That'll fix all your problems. She thought desperately for a moment.
って何よそれ。それでどうにかなるかもなんて考えるの。本当にあの女みたいじゃない。
Oof.
お姉ちゃんどうしたの？
大したことじゃないから。
She shouldn't have said it was nothing. She hated herself for even thinking that. If only they were going to the UK 1 year later. Then she could have started college here, and that could have been an excuse to live by herself.
ダメだわ。何考えてるのかしら私。ねえ朝日。
急に言われても知らないよ。
Yayoi said nothing to the troubled Asahi. If Yayoi said nothing, Asahi could only imagine.
まあいいわ。とりあえず今日は買い物でも楽しもうかしら。
But there's still so much to talk about, Yayoi said with a smile.
こっちに来てからかな。お姉ちゃんがこんな風に笑うようになったの。
It was a nice smile, but considering what had happened before, it was a smile that she used when she was trying to hide something. Asahi became a little sad, but she couldn't show it.
じゃあせっかくだからトールくんに見せるための服とか買ったら？
服ね。そういえば勝負下着って持ってないわ。
Special underwear. We don't need underwear where we're going.
もうそういう関係なの？付き合いだしたばっかりじゃなかったの？
Oh, the diddly was in fact had by all. So Asahi and Tetsuya hadn't gone that far yet, Yayoi realized.
あ、なんか嫌なこと想像してる。何？
God, I did it first?
別に。なんだ、まだそうだったんだ。私が家に帰ってない間に進んでるかと思ったのに。
Oh my god.
うるさいな。そっちこそずいぶん早くないですか？
Probably. Just a little bit.
あら、だって付き合いの長さだけで言えば、私とトールは朝日と哲也と大差ないわよ。
Yeah, but we started just going out, so... Yayoi knew it wasn't something to be particularly proud of, but she was glad that Asahi hadn't even beat her for everything. Ha!
もしかしてなし崩しで付き合ってるんじゃないよね？
さあ、どうかしら。
It might as well be a spur of the moment, although they had known each other for a while now. As she thought of that,
けど、トールってどんな服が好きなのかしら。
I'll take anything.
知らないの？
God damn it.
露出が多いと喜ぶってことくらいしか知らないわ。
Well, there you go. God damn it. This disappointed. Asahi thought that was only natural if he was a guy. The sisters both sighed at Yayoi's imperfections and the fact that she didn't know what her boyfriend liked. Fucking stupid. Oh my god, dude. That's really... So, but this... Oh my god! Now I know how it feels when something sad happens and I ended on that note. And then it cuts out and it goes to my end slate where it's a hip happening song with the kids. Oh, but I'm still sad now. But this is a dream, so it's fine. But it's not a dream because that's actually gonna happen. And I don't know anymore.